I'm sorry, I was trying to get Eden to come over. We'll get to that. I bet when we break out the food, we're in the food prep area. You know I'm going to find the food prep area. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting. I don't know where the eggs and bacon are, but I do know where beet pulp is. This is beet pulp, right?
This is beet pulp, yeah. This is left over when sugar beets are processed.
Okay.
A lot of products are made from the sugar from sugar beets, and the leftover pulp is actually a favored food item of our reindeer.
You said this is like their candy.
Yes, yeah. This is their reward for moving where we need them to go, and if we need them to do something, this is what we're motivating them with.
That is good motivation. If it would work with me as well, I'd be right in line with them. Dawn with the Milwaukee County Zoo here. Tell us a little bit about the reindeer, or the caribou, or the rainbow.
Correct.
Which is a combination.
Which is our kind of pet name for a mix of reindeer and caribou.
Can you one more time explain what the difference between a reindeer and a caribou is?
Sure. A caribou is the wild animal. They're found throughout the whole Arctic region, north of the tree line, basically. And reindeer are actually the animals that were domesticated in Europe and Asia centuries ago from the wild caribou being domesticated and kind of herded and managed or farmed or raised by people, yeah.
Let me ask you this, Dawn. We went through about 15 different really interesting facts. Can you share some of these interesting things that we were talking about? Just a few of them, pick whichever ones. But there are some really interesting things about the antlers and why they have the fur on them. Folks, for years I've wanted to know, I mean literally decades, I've wanted to know why, and I just never asked, the caribou antlers will have fur on them sometimes. Dawn knows everything, and she knows why. Can you explain that to folks?
Well, it has to do with the difference between horns and antlers. Okay. These are antlers. Deer have antlers, moose, elk, all of the deer or cervid family have antlers, which are grown every year. As the animal gets older and reaches its prime, the antlers will get larger and larger each year. Right now, these animals have been wearing these antlers for almost a full year. They're going to be dropping off in the next month or so. Okay. Right behind those is next year's antlers growing in right away. As they're growing, they have this velvet or living tissue on the outside, and that's actually the blood supply that forms and helps the antlers to form and grow. And once the antlers are fully formed in the late fall before the breeding season or rut, the blood supply cuts off, the velvet, the outer living tissue dries up, and the animals will rub it off, and then they'll be in what we call hard rack, which is the bony looking antler that you see here.
That's a hard rack right there. Okay. And Chris is looking at a pretty big hard rack, because that caribou has got a lot of points on there. And you talked about the points and how they're scored a little differently than regular deer. There is a lot to learn about reindeer, caribou, rainbow out here at the Milwaukee County Zoo. The zoo is open. You can't get into this area normally, but you can sure get a good view of all these wonderful and majestic animals out here at the zoo. Right now, we'll send it back to you guys, and then I think we're not going to be able to do the feeding now. Next time we come back, we'll try to do a little feeding, okay?
Cool.
Okay, guys?
Look for it.
Okay.
Thanks.